Welcome to RPG Ranked, the channel where all your favorite RPGs are ranked.
What is up, RPG nerds? In this video, I'll rank all of the Final Fantasy Dimensions 2 characters from worst to best based on how they fare in battle. I'm Bright Nelson, and if you enjoy RPGs, please like, subscribe, and check out some of our other videos. Now, without further ado, let's get into this ranking. In last place is Sorgue, also known as the Deathlord. Like many characters before him, he is the worst character in the game, much in part due to how late he joins the party. Due to this, he also has very few episode quests, which hinders him to be the worst character stat-wise. Even his best magic attacks are weaker than Aemo's and Jornee's, so damage-wise, he's pretty middle of the road. He is also the least versatile character when it comes to elements, because even though he has access to all the elements, outside of dark attacks, he's limited in terms of quantity of abilities of different elements, and as well, he doesn't have any really good signets that can buff his elemental prowess. Like, he has one for each element, but it's not enough to make him as good as Aemo or Jornee. However, the Deathlord isn't all bad, even though he is limited in his abilities. His dark magic is exponentially stronger than Jornee's, and he has two of the best buffs in the game, Mighty Wall and Pure White Magic. These are both absolutely broken abilities that you should definitely use if you decide to put the Deathlord in your party. Overall, though the Deathlord is an amazing buffer, and Dark Elemental Mage, his weak stats, late game status, lack of Signet versatility to land him in last place. However, story-wise, he is my favorite character, so that's a nice bonus. And he also is really good during, the very end of the Eureka arc. He's, one of the best characters to have in your party at the very end, but also, that's the very end, and you have to grind to make him good, so, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next character. In 6th place is Maina. Right when she joins the party, she's a must-have in your party due to her fantastic Slayer ability and her speed. However, after 2 or 3 chapters, she falls a bit. The next 2 or 3 chapters, she falls even more. By the end of the game, she's a very mid character, and she's completely outclassed by the Deathlord by the end of the Eureka arc, or just like Aemo, her hero song is better than Slayer by the end of the game anyway. However, Maina's speed allows her to be a strong character for quite a few chapters, but she does fall off because her attacks aren't very good. Even if you go twice, which Maina usually does go twice, in the amount of time other characters go, she doesn't really have any good multi-hit abilities, and if you want good single-hit abilities, get Parai in your party instead. Overall, Maina's speed and great buffing abilities are fantastic for a few chapters, but she falls off later in the game. She's above the Deathlord because she's useful for longer than he is, but not long enough for Maina to be any good, and yeah. Besides, Aemo has speed buffs too, like I was saying, so yeah, usually Aemo's just better anyway. Alright, let's move on to the next character. In 5th place is the main character of the game, or I guess the protagonist. I wouldn't call him the main character, but the protagonist of the game, Morrow. He's an all-around red mage-like character that basically excels at nothing for most of the game. His breath attacks and blow attacks are okay, but he's basically outclassed by Parai for the majority of the game. You also get tons of weak dark signets that you have no way to evolve during the mid-game, making him by far the weakest character in that portion of the game. So he's mid at the beginning and bad in the middle, and meh at the end of the main story. However, I'd argue that he is the best or second best character during the Eureka arc. With insanely broken physical attacks like Chrono Blade, I almost want to say Chrono Break. I really need that game to exist. Anyway, with the insanely powerful broken physical attacks like Chrono Blade and the magic attacks like Terra Flare, the strongest ability in the game, as well as the damage bonuses from Ruin Gut and Rapid Ruin, as well as supports like Quick Speed, Daily Prayer, and Multi-Magic, overall, Morrow is a great character by the end of the game. Alright, in 4th place we have Wrieg, or Wrieg, or Heimdall, or whatever the heck you want to call him. He is one of my favorite characters. I love him. He's hilarious, and his hair is epic and stuff. But he's an interesting case because he's like Morrow, where he's a very versatile red mage, but usually he's just straight up better than Morrow for most of the game. And I would say, yeah, he's basically just Morrow, but a little bit better, except I would say Morrow's a little bit better during the Eureka arc. But Protect Gu is one of the main reasons why you want him in your party. His breath attacks are pretty powerful. By the end of the game, his Abyssal Slash and his Force Blaster are very good. And yeah, he's the best Earth Element attacker in the game. But other than that, he's just a very mid Red Mage type character, Dragoon type character. And yeah, he's not much better than Morrow, but he is still better. So they're about tied, but I would say Wrieg is better. And his name is obviously the best in the game, so yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next character. Alright, in third place we have Jornee, the black mage of this game. She's by far the strongest character when she first joins the party, and her Blizzard and Tri-Magic spells carry her for many chapters as a phenomenal character. Blizzard completely owns any large group of enemies, and Tri-Magic can literally one-shot a lot of bosses right when you get it, which is weird. Once she gets Healara, she completely outclasses Aemo for a little bit because Cura is just weaker than Healara. And Aemo doesn't have Fire Song or Blizzard Song at that point. But once she does get Fire Song, Blizzard Song, and Eternal Love, Jornee isn't quite as good as Aemo, but she's still very powerful. Her sheer variety of powerful elemental spells is a boon to the party. And though I find Aemo to be the better character throughout the entirety of the game, you should definitely use Jornee for a long time. However, she does have a few flaws. Like Parai, she does fall off quite a bit during the Eureka arc. And she is the mushiest character in the game. She dies pretty dang often. It's kind of annoying. And she isn't quite as good as Aemo for most of the game, much in part due to her lack of great support abilities. She has one buffing ability, Aura, and it has a casting time, so it's pretty weak. And as well, Healara is good, but it's not quite as good as some of the later buffing abilities that Aemo gets, as well as she doesn't have as good revive spells, or she does not have invincibility song or anything. But yeah, she's a very powerful character, but she's not quite as good as the next two characters on this list. Alright, before I get into the last two main playable characters, I'm going to quickly rank the Eidolons, because they are characters in this game, obviously. You don't have them for very long, you just have them during the Eureka arc, but I wanted to rank them anyway. Last place is Ifrit, since Parai can easily take on Bastardo on his own. Next is Titan, because like Parai, Wrieg can easily handle himself. Next is Shiva, since Jornee is weak health-wise, and Shiva is a big help in that fight. Next is Rama, because Maina is a very weak character during the Eureka arc, and without Rama, I don't know if she could just own it. I mean, she could win, obviously, but the battle against Plaisir would be a lot longer. Then Leviathan, who isn't quite as strong as Odin, and isn't quite as necessary because you have Morrow and Moody and the Deathlord in your party, but the Leviathan is still pretty dang good. Odin is incredibly powerful, and I wish he could be the permanent 8th character, because I think it's really weird. There's 7 characters, and then you just have an empty slot, and it drives me nuts. Last but not least is Moody, obviously, the greatest heal bot in any video game I've ever played. Give him Cura, Healara, Fixer-Upper, or Pure White Magic, and you'll have an amazing character on your hands that can carry you throughout the game. I don't know, if you didn't have Moody in this game, I feel like it would be a lot harder. That'd be an interesting challenge, just to make him defend all the time. Alright, let's move on to the runner-up of this video, my man Parai. His biggest weaknesses are 1, his limited multi-target signets, and 2, that he's outclassed by Morrow and Wrieg during the Eureka arc. However, he's the strongest character in the game during the main story when it comes to attacking. His Infuriate, Fixer-Upper, and Full Defense abilities allow him to be an amazing support character as well. And obviously, abilities like Dual Roar, Yasha, and Triple Wakazaki Slash deal heaps of damage. With the right equipment and signets, a buff Parai can one-shot almost every boss in the main story with Dual Roar, which is kind of stupid actually. Sadly, he falls off during the Eureka arc due to his lack of new signets, but overall, that's the only thing holding him back from being the best character in the game. Well, not the only thing. Aemo's broken, but yeah. He's close. He's close. Last, but certainly not least, is Aemo, who is easily the best character in the game. Other than the couple of chapters that she's outclassed by Jornee, she should always be one of your 3 active party members. She has the best healing abilities in the game, some of the best support abilities in the game, and very strong offensive magic. She's also easily the best character in the Eureka arc with broken abilities like Hero Song, Invincibility Song, and Golden Scintillation. Overall, Aemo is a perfect red mage, a jack of all trades, master of all character. Before I wrap up this video, I want to cover 2 more things, a ranking of the permanent characters by story, and a quick character guide. First, the ranking. In last place is Parai, a stoic and boring character with daddy issues. And second to last is Maina, who is not boring, and I like her ancestry story, but she's still very mid. Next is Jornee, my second favorite character personality-wise, but she has very little story outside of forgiving the Deathlord and being an older sister figure to Aemo. Next is Aemo, who is kind of boring as a character but has an interesting story and an interesting time period. She is also a very sweet character, but her personality is a little too wooden to rank her any higher on this list. And third is Morrow, the typical JRPG protagonist that is funny and dumb but brave. At first I would have ranked him in last or second to last, but his story in the Eureka arc is actually quite compelling. Penultimately, we have Wrieg, my favorite character in terms of personality. His name is legendary, and his story is actually very compelling as well. I was genuinely flabbergasted by his plot twist, and it added a lot to his character. However, Sorgue is by far the best character, and he's the reason I was always looking forward to progressing this story. From a king's mage to an evil terrorist to a kind scientist to a broken man trying to make things right, his character's arc is a joy to watch unfold, and I love that you get so many different versions of him throughout the different time periods. Now for the quick character guide. Once you get Jornee, have a party of her, Wrieg, and Aemo for best results. Once you get Parai, replace Wrieg for a party of Jornee, Parai, and Aemo. Once you get Maina, replace Aemo. This makes Jornee, Parai, and Maina the best mid-game party. Swap Aemo back in the party once she gets Fire Song, and you'll likely stop using Maina around this time for most of the game. Aemo, Jornee, and Parai will be your best team for the majority of the endgame. Now for the Eureka arc, however, the best party is definitely Aemo, the Deathlord, and Morrow. However, I would swap in Wrieg from time to time depending on what you're fighting, if they're weak to the earth element, or if you need some extra MP restoring with magic sweets or some protection with Protectica, I would use Wrieg instead of Morrow from time to time. Hopefully this video has helped you to know the best characters in Final Fantasy Dimensions 2. If you want more videos like this, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, and check out some other videos on the channel. I've got a ranking of all the Final Fantasy Dimensions jobs on there, as well as a ton of other Final Fantasy and JRPG content. Comment down below your ranking, because not many people talk about this game, so I want to hear some other opinions. I feel like this game is a little underrated. Some people hate it, even though they only played a couple minutes of it. Feel free to suggest a video down below as well. I try my best to make a video, what am I saying? I try my best to make every video that is requested, and I've made quite a few. The Final Fantasy VIII GFs video, Final Fantasy X characters video, and the Golden Sun characters video. All those were requested by my epic fans, so please drop something down below if you want to see it. Anyway, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, RPG nerds, and have a fantastic day.